It's the weekend and we were planning for a beach day, but Rio had other plans for us.
Today we're going to be exploring some of the best things to do if you find yourself in Rio de Janeiro on a rainy day or during rainy season. We are no longer in what is usually considered rainy season in Rio, but this weekend's forecast said there would be a 100% chance of rain Saturday and 85% chance of rain Sunday. So if you're worried about the forecast ruining your plans for your upcoming trip to Rio, here's proof that you don't need to let rain ruin your day. So in no particular order, here are the 7 best things to do on a rainy day in Rio.
Depending how hard it's raining, you can probably come to the beach anyway. There might not be as many people as you normally see on a beautiful sunny day, but there's people still here playing volleyball. Some people are taking in a little bit of the ocean waves, which are pretty crazy today.
By the way, for those north of the equator, it's helpful to note that the southern hemisphere experiences the seasons flipped.
Our families in the US and Mexico are currently in the spring season, but here in Rio, technically we've entered the fall season.
But the temperatures don't really vary all that much, so really it comes down to 2 seasons, rainy season and dry season. Rainy season here is during their summer months of December to March, and it is now April.
So a rainy day could happen even when it's not expected. Number 2, visit one of the many museums Rio de Janeiro has to offer. We chose to come to the Museo de Mañana, which is the Museum of Tomorrow. We first came here in 2016 and loved it, so we're now here to see what's new. Clearly you can see it's a very sunny day, but a museum is a great option because it's a great activity that you can enjoy on either a rainy or sunny day. Tickets to Museo de Mañana are 30 reais per person and you can purchase them at the kiosks. You can pay in Pix, Crédito, or Débito. Oh, this place is futuristic. Look, you could ask this robot to dance. You got robots, dancing robots. Look, it's flirting with me.
The Museum of Tomorrow explores how adjustments to our current lives can shape the Earth for the next 50 years. The museum promotes innovation, scientific advancements, and highlights life on Earth with its exhibits. It really made us pause and reflect on how the choices we make the world of a difference. So we've encountered a question. Pensar no futuro tira seu sono. Does thinking of the future keep you up at night? Depending on how you answer, it's counting people. 1,106 people for no. Unfortunately, I'm one of the yes. This museum really stands out to me because usually I think of museums as a place to learn, but this one really makes me feel. My biggest takeaway being that we're all in this together and we should act like it more. And if we want a better tomorrow, we need to take action today. Something they definitely didn't have the last time we came in 2016 is new information about the COVID pandemic and its impact on society and the world. This is the first time I see anything COVID pandemic related in a museum, and it's really eerie. I got goosebumps reading about it. The museum now has a really nice restaurant on the back end. Looks really nice with a pool alongside it, but it's not for swimming. I know this video is supposed to be on a rainy day, but we didn't get a chance to actually come to the museum on the other rainy day that we were filming. And it's really nice that we did get this beautiful sunset and beautiful weather. So it's worth coming back to this space to enjoy a sunset if you do catch a good day and a good weather.
If you're not a dancer but still like music, you can go to a samba bar for live music and a fun atmosphere. And yes, there are daytime options. There are many samba bars in Rio, but a popular one is Rio Scenarium. Rio Scenarium is more than a bar. It's a full-service restaurant and music hall that hosts renowned musicians for evening performances and daytime events on Saturdays. Their Saturday events, Samba and Feijoada, include midday live musical performances along with a feijoada buffet. And yes, there are also vegan options. Doors open at noon, lunch is served at 1 p.m., and the event goes on until 6 p.m. for about 75 to 100 reais per person. You can buy your tickets in advance online to save a few bucks or buy them at full price in person on the day of.
I love how family friendly it feels, and it feels like I'm hanging out with my extended Brazilian family here.
The buffet is self-serve, so you start with a generous bed of rice, then your soupy black beans. Don't skimp on the broth. Kevin later came back for more. The farofa, toasted cassava flour, and then of course at least 3 or 4 types of meat. Here we have some fried weenies, calabresa sausage, a few yuca fries, pork ribs. Notice how all the meats are cooked in bean broth. Carne seca, dried beef, and of course some collard greens to help wash all of that down.
And this is all for me, just in case they're asking, ¿No estás comiendo? ¿Por qué estás tan flaco?
Drinks are sold separately, but we got a coconut lemonade and a non-alcoholic beer for Kevin because he's on a limited alcohol diet. And when we miss the extra kick in our food, we ask for the Tabasco sauce. This space was formerly an antique store. It was known as a source for props and sets for films and television shows. The building itself is a 3-level cultural pavilion filled with antiques and art. And then the real fun begins. The way people are partying here, you almost forget it's the middle of the day. We love to see people of all ages having a good time, and even though we didn't know 90% of the songs they played, we enjoyed them all, and especially this one. Originally a Spanish song, we really enjoyed hearing it played with a samba rhythm and sung in Portuguese. What else can you do on a rainy day in Rio? Explore the neighborhood of Santa Teresa, the colorful, artsy, bohemian heart of Rio de Janeiro. Tucked away at the top of the hills, this neighborhood has a charming, village-like vibe that can be enjoyed rain or shine. Intense storms are rare, so rain tends to come and go, so with or without an umbrella, you can still enjoy the murals, the colors, and the architectural time capsules in the buildings, giving this neighborhood a unique character that stands out from the rest of the city.
I didn't think I would say this while being in Rio, but because Santa Teresa is elevated, it gets a little chilly after it rains. Tengo frío.
At least at up here it is.
Ay, tengo frío. I love how you can hear music everywhere, live music, just everywhere. Allá arriba, mira.
The Santa Teresa Bondinho is a highlight here. The tram station is not actually in the neighborhood, though it's over in the city center, and it looks like it's the only way to buy a ticket. It passes over the arches in Lapa and looks like lots of fun.
I got a question for this girl. Hey, so why are Brazilians so hot? If you haven't seen our video, make sure to watch it on the link above.
If you like films and want to challenge your Portuguese, you can catch a movie at Cine Santa Teresa, a small cinema with a single screen showing the latest award-winning Brazilian films. We watched Vitória, a film based on a true story about an elderly woman who takes matters into her own hands when the local police fail to address crime in her neighborhood in Rio de Janeiro. Number 5 on our list, wander into a boteco. Whether you're in Santa Teresa or anywhere else in Rio, you should definitely experience a boteco, which in Brazil is a casual bar or tavern, and it's more than just a place to have a drink. They're social hubs, popular meeting places for friends and family to enjoy food, share stories, and simple moments. We wandered into Bar do Mineiro, opened in 1992 and has since been popular amongst the residents of Santa Teresa. The specialty of this boteco is the food from Minas Gerais, a region in Brazil renowned for its gastronomy.
This is great. They've got menus in both Portuguese and English and all kinds of really cool foods that I don't think we've tried. This is going to be really hard. I don't know how we're going to pick what to eat today. The croquettes, which are the bolinhos, grandma's precheca, pumpkin and shrimp, sausages, vegetarian options, salads, and a variety of cachaça to try. Wow, this is going to be tough. This was all so good, but I do have to say that we ordered way more than we could eat. We knew what we were doing because we wanted to try these things. Unfortunately, most of their dishes are to share. They're for 2 people, and I wish they had more like sampling type of platters where you could try different things. But it's fine. We're just gonna have to take some leftovers home and eat fried cheese throughout the week. Honestly, I think this one was my favorite. This fried cheese with the molasses.
This next one on the list is technically still in Santa Teresa, but it's so good it counts as its own. So number 6 is a visit to Parque des Ruínas, which means Park of the Ruins, also called Parque Gloria Maria. This is a park with an art gallery built into the ruins of an old mansion. The mix of modern structures intertwined with the old crumbling mansion walls was a sight to see. There are cool art exhibits in the basement and the main floors, but the best thing about this place is 1, the building itself, with artistic displays throughout, and 2, the views. If you climb to the top, you'll have panoramic views of Rio, which even on a cloudy or rainy day, look amazing. We could still see the Sugarloaf Mountain and the Christ statue quite well from up there.
After a bunch of beach days and sunny days, a gloomy, chilly night day is really nice on the skin, and como que se antoja un cafecito con un panecito, ¿no?
And if you need a break, this cozy outdoor cafe is the perfect spot to have a drink, enjoy the moment and the weather.
I actually wasn't expecting to like it here as much, and thanks to the rain being just in and out, we had some winds, it was drizzling, and then it stopped raining, so it's still cloudy. Point is, you can still really enjoy a lot in Rio even when there's rain and clouds. And if it wasn't for the rainy day, I'm not sure I would have made the effort to really come here. I wasn't really all that intrigued, but now that we came, I'm really glad we did. I really liked this structure, the museum, and the views from here are incredible.
Number 7, and probably our favorite thing to do on a rainy day and any day in Rio, is have dessert in this 100-year-old home that uses 560 eggs each day to make its custard tarts, cakes, flans, and all kinds of Portuguese treats using centuries-old family recipes.
Olá, sejam bem-vindos.
Obrigada!
Meu nome é Simone, eu sou filha da Alda Maria. A gente tem uma empresa familiar de doces portugueses e já temos 7 gerações de doceiras e 9 dos portugueses. E ela e as doceiras da época.
Simone was kind enough to give us a tour of her home and family legacy. She told us about prominent members of her family ancestry, particularly the women who contributed to the Portuguese sweet-making culture in the city of Pelotas in the Brazilian state of Rio Grande do Sul, where her ancestors landed when they migrated from the Portuguese islands of Açores.
Então, aqui é o Domingos, aqui a gente tem uma árvore genealógica.
What? This is a family tree of 9 generations in their family. That's amazing. I barely can tell you about 3 generations back in my family. Wow. Então, quem?
É o Domingos José de Almeida. É da época da Revolução Farroupilha, então é 1845. Pela pesquisa da minha avó, a Bernardina, esposa dele, fazia os doces da família e dizem que ela era tão guerreira quanto a Anita Garibaldi, que é uma personagem importante na história do Brasil, né? Que ela saía para lutar junto com os homens na guerra. Dizem que essa minha tataravó era tão famosa quanto, só que na história não ficou famosa. Ela ajudava a alimentar os feridos de guerra e ela era uma mulher à frente da época porque ela sabia ler. E as mulheres daquela época não sabiam ler. Então ela fazia as receitas dos doces da família. Então a família de mulheres gaúchas que reproduzem esses doces até hoje. E aí aqui tem a minha avó, aqui já tem a minha mãe e aqui tem a gente, que é uma empresa. Continuamos mulheres fazendo os doces.
Você?
Eu, a minha irmã e a minha mãe.
Oh, que bonitas.
Então a gente continua fazendo os doces como antigamente, né? São receitas antigas de família, todas à base de ovos, que são as gemas, né? Então a gente usa ovo caipira, açúcar orgânico, que é um açúcar que remete àquele açúcar de antigamente.
Mas mantendo as tradições da sua família.
Sim.
Todo o tempo. Que legal.
Essa aqui a gente está há 30 anos aqui no Rio.
Ah, ok.
Então a minha mãe veio para cá 30 anos atrás fazer os doces aqui no Rio de Janeiro. E a casa foi coincidência ter os azulejos portugueses, né?
Coincidência.
Sim.
Foi o destino.
Sim.
This table has been in the family since 1845, over 180 years. 180 anos na família esta mesa. Wow. Podemos provar alguns de seus doces? Sim, now the best part.
Oi, 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 que delícia. O que temos aqui?
Aqui tem o pastel de nata, que é um dos mais tradicionais da casa. Aquele ali é o rocambole de laranja. Ele tem uma textura de pudim e é...
Que é molhado.
Sim, ele é bem úmido, com fios de ovos por cima. Esse é o bem casado, que é um doce tradicional aqui no Brasil, nos casamentos. E o nosso é português, que é um biscoitinho tipo esquecido que lembra um pão de ló com doce de ovos dentro e vai um fondant bem fininho com um toque de limão. Esse é outro muito tradicional, que é o toucinho do céu, que é de amêndoas e gemas.
Toucinho do céu.
Esse é o quindim, que também é muito tradicional aqui no Brasil. E ele é um doce que foi inspirado na época da colonização. Os portugueses vieram com uma receita chamada brisa de lis, que é um pudim de amêndoas. E aqui as escravas que faziam os doces não tinham amêndoa e pegaram o coco. Então ele ficou apelidado de quindim.
Originalmente um doce português.
Adaptado no Brasil com o coco.
Que legal.
Esse daqui é trouxinha de nozes, que é um doce que é uma fusão Brasil-Portugal, porque ele tem um brigadeiro de chocolate e nozes e no meio doce de ovos. E esse é outro tradicional, que é o pastel de Santa Clara, que é uma massa fininha e crocante com um doce de ovos dentro.
Eu tenho uma pergunta. Qual é a sua favorita?
O meu favorito? E o rocambole de laranja.
Eu acho que o Kevin também vai ser o seu favorito.
Mas depende do dia. Às vezes é o Santa Clara, às vezes o pastel de nata.
Ok, muito obrigada. Let's dig in.
Esta é minha.
I already claimed one. Okay. Okay. Oh, and she gave us some agua de Jamaica, which she called chá gelado de hibiscus.
Hibiscus. Salud.
Hibiscus, so it is hibiscus tea, but we had a cool moment where we told her all about how this is called agua de Jamaica in Mexico.
Jamaican waters.
Yes.
This is probably the most historic bakery that I've ever been to. I love it already. It has recipes from so many generations from before. It aligns a lot with our mission, and it's to reconnect with our roots in Mexico, and it's beautiful to get the opportunity to meet other families that have their history and connections to their, to their roots. So this is such a beautiful experience today that I'm gonna enjoy every single bite of these pastries.
I am so in love with this place. Her grandmother wrote a book about their family story, the history, and all the stories attached to each of these recipes. How lucky they are to have a family treasure like this business and all the stories that all these sweets represent. I am just in awe.
So beautiful. I'm a little jealous. I wish I had something like this. This is just a museum. This is a museum for their family, and it's so beautiful to be able to have this opportunity.
And like we were saying earlier, that this experience is really special for us because it reminds us of the journey that we've been on when we started this YouTube channel over 4 years ago now, in wanting to strengthen our connection to our Mexican roots. We were born and raised in the USA. We moved to Mexico, and we've lived in Mexico 3+ years, with traveling in between. But most of that time in Mexico, this was our goal, to strengthen our connection to our ancestors in Mexico and learning more about their stories and where they come from. And these people have a whole book and family business, and they're so lucky to have that. And I feel so lucky to experience it with them.
Now, we're gonna write a book of our family tree and put some recetas on here.
That would be really cool.
So Rebecca, Leonor, if you're watching this,
Get ready to write a book with us.
we're gonna start working on this.
You're gonna share that with me, though, right?
No. You're gonna find yourself wearing a
I'm
new
gonna
one.
find my own fork. Oh, wow.
Bomb. So much for abs in Rio, huh?
Can't be perfect. See, let's go for this one next. Oh, you see that, the coconut at the bottom? What? Are you serious?
It's not sugary.
It's not super
It's like-
sweet.
Perfect.
Wow.
It's like custardy.
And if you try not to think about how much egg yolk and sugar is in it, really, you're just having very well balanced treats.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself when I eat fat food. If I think it's balanced,
It's
it's
exactly
gonna
what
be
we said
balanced.
at Bardo Mineiro too. This is just how we psych ourselves out of everything we eat. I like this one a lot.
This is all you right here. That looks like a donut to me.
It looks like, oh wait a minute, I just tried to touch it and it's actually pretty soft. This
Like
is
a donut.
She said this one's common at weddings.
Oh, this one don't look my type, so I'm gonna take a little bite.
If it's not your type, I'll take the whole thing. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I expect everything to be overly sweet and sugary, but it's not.
Dang, sharing is caring. It looks good.
I love
That's a
it.
big bite, man.
This is so good. They warmed it up for us too. They mentioned that what's special about theirs is that they use a freshly made dairy cream. It's so
It's
good.
amazing. I'll trade all of these for this one.
I'm obsessed with pastéis de nata. Honestly, I could eat these every day. Compared to some of the other pastéis de natas that we've had, you can taste that this one is homemade. You can feel that it's a family recipe, and it just tastes more, I don't know, natural, not overly sugary. It has a better texture than some of the other ones we've had.
Homey, I guess. Casero.
Yeah,
Like if grandma made it.
exactly. Yeah, get the last bite. If you're in Rio, in or near Santa Teresa, absolutely recommend a stop to Alda Maria Dosis Portugueses. Have everything we just had, but if not, at the very least, the pastel de nata, this orange one whose name I forget, but I'll put on the screen, and anything else that looks good, because everything was fantastic. All the activities you saw us do in this video, we did on a rainy weekend. What else would you recommend someone do on a rainy day in Rio? Leave your ideas in the comments below.
Se cuidan, se bañan y nos vemos hasta la próxima.
Ciao!